welcome to the Mother May I podcast, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Mother May I podcast. What the fuck is up, y'all? Damn, I love this damn podcast, yo. I feel like I can just let loose. And every time I get up and do these, I don't feel like, oh Lord, I got to do this shit. You know how you feel like that with some shit? I don't feel like that with this podcast. I really, really love doing this. And I'm just excited to be here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is my co-host, the beautiful Diavia Porche. She's a spider plant. She's good for good energy and good vibes. And she also helps to clear the air. I love my plants, so she here with me. And my name is Whitney Johnson. I am the host of this amazing podcast, and you are going to want to hang around because I talk that real shit, and I give you tips, and I give you tools, and I give you practical things that have actually worked for me as a mom who has suffered with chronic, I guess you could say, anxiety and depression for so many years. All of my shit comes from a place of knowing what that life feels like, because years ago I suffered from postpartum depression and I could barely pick my head up off the bed. It was so horrible. It was one of the most darkest places in my life. And so all of my content, all of my work stems around helping those women who are dealing with those type of things and helping them find peace within their homes. And this podcast is just a stem of that, I guess you could say, a little byproduct of that, right? It's my way of connecting with y'all and just sharing some of the things that I've learned and what I've gone through. And so that's what we do up in here. If this your first time, like I said, you might as well like and subscribe because you're gonna want to come back. My episodes be litty. And that's that. So we're gonna get into today's topic. Okay, y'all, first and foremost, my throat has been killing me, so I'm going to have to stop every now and then and take a little sip of my tea because I refuse to let this good word go to the wayside. We will get into this topic today because today we talking about homegirls. Y'all know we've been talking about relationships, and I done been cute the last few episodes. If y'all didn't check those episodes, go back because they were good. But y'all know I've been cute the last few episodes. I've been cute, but I'm not being cute no more, y'all. We also need to start having these talks about our relationships with homegirls and friends or whatever you want to call it. And so that's what we're getting into today, because I find that being a mom, especially being a stay-at-home mom like myself, it gets lonely sometimes. And so sometimes you do want an outlet. You do want someone that you can share thoughts with and communicate with and things along those lines. But I also want you to understand that when you are connecting and building these relationships, you also have to use your own discernment and wisdom when moving forth in these relationships. Now, myself, I want to paint the picture of my journey in friendship, because I'm gonna be the first one to keep it all the way funky with y'all. I ain't always been a good friend. I have said things behind people's back. I done whatever, all the shit that girls do. Come on now, we grown. The stuff that happened in my past, I'm not saying that, I was the savior and everybody did shit to me. I've learned to own my shit. That's basically what I'm saying, right? And so when I was coming up, I always tied how much I could make people talk to me, or how much people would say nice things about me, that made me feel like they were my friend, right? And so I grew up thinking that that's how I find friends. If they say nice stuff to me and they seem to like me a little bit, then they're probably my friend, right? But as I grew older, and I guess it was around the time when I got pregnant, I tell y'all all the time, I was a young mother. I consider myself a young mother. I was 21 when I had my son, but I was too damn young to be having somebody's baby. I was not mentally strong enough to be somebody's mother, and I was still out here being a hot girl. So I didn't want to slow down and be nobody's mother, but I got pregnant, and at that point, there ain't no turning back, Once you done got pregnant, that is what it is, right? And so once I got pregnant, I noticed that my relationships had started changing with different friends, you know what I'm saying? Because like my lifestyle was now about pushing strollers and trying to finish college. And while they were in college, that wasn't the conversation they was having. They weren't worried about pushing nobody's stroller and how to breastfeed in their final exams like I was, right? Because my story had all that shit going on. They weren't worried about that. They were just worried about what parties they was going to and how they gonna get their grades up and how they gonna finish the semester and sleeping in. I wasn't worried about that same shit. At the time, I'm gonna tell y'all briefly how that all happened. I was going to school at Bennett College down in North Carolina. An amazing school. First of all, Bennett is an amazing school. And I went there, and it was an all-girls school. It was the best time of my life, right across the street from North Carolina A&T University. I don't know if I even say that shit right, but whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So it was right across the street from there. So we would go over there, we'd kick it, there's parties, you know, the college life. But around my junior year, I got pregnant. And all my lifestyle of partying was done. Sis was in the bathroom throwing up, not from being drunk, but from being pregnant, okay? And so when that whole thing started to happen, the lifestyle that I had with my friends started to disconnect, and we weren't on the same vibe no more. So the stuff that we used to click about was no longer clickable because we were going in two different paths. And so while they continued their journey at Bennett, I had to then move back here to Maryland. That's when I came back to Maryland. And I went to Bowie State University. And it was tough because when the semester started, I was still pregnant. I was still pregnant, waiting to have my son. I finally had my son when the school year started. I was behind on all of my tests, all of my classwork. A lot of my professors were not having it. They were not going to let me pass. I was giving them doctor's notes. I only needed a few more credits to graduate on time, and I had to bust my fucking ass. When I tell y'all I was pushing my son Aiden, my 10-year-old that I be on here with, on Instagram and all that stuff, I was pushing him on that Bowie State campus. I was nursing him in the middle of my final exams, but I was on a mission and I was determined to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. But when I went on that journey, I noticed that I didn't have friends. I didn't have a lot of people that could be like, girl, you think you can watch him while I da. Or you think they had their own shit going on. You know what I'm saying? They had their own things going on. And so I learned through those situations that relationships are going to change. Relationships are going to maneuver. But the real ones, the real friends that matter, they'll still be there. And so I think a lot of times we get so stuck on staying stuck or staying in the same place or not elevating because we don't want to outgrow our friendships. But I just want y'all to know that if you have a real, true relationship with somebody, it'll never outgrow. You'll never be able to outgrow a true friendship because you'll always be able to go back like ain't nothing happened and y'all will still be good. And I think that we put that emphasis into serious relationships with men or our spouses or whoever we chilling with, our boo. We put all the energy into that. But when it comes to friendships, we always don't give it that same type of grace. We don't give it that time or enough energy for it to mature into what it needs to be. Because sometimes y'all may go on different paths and stuff like that, but that don't mean that y'all can't go back to where it was, because if y'all have a real connection, it'll always be there no matter what. And so I want you to just take inventory and pay attention to how you show up in your relationships with your friends. Are you showing up as you? Do you feel like you have to compete with them? Do you feel like you have to lie to them? Do you feel like you have to fit in? Do you feel like you have to dumb yourself down? Do you feel like you have to water yourself down? Because if you in friendships where you have to do that, then there's no way that you can expect for yourself to grow, because you're not even allowing yourself to do that. You have to allow yourself to do that no matter where you at. So even if you just want to grow at your job and you want to get this promotion at your job, you still need to bring that same energy into your relationship with your friends. You know you want to go higher with your friends. Y'all want to go from taking vacations to Miami to taking vacations overseas or whatever. then that's going to require a level of growth within your friendship, right? So you're going to have to put that same energy that you would into getting this promotion at your job into friendships if you really want them. And to be honest with you, I think another thing that we need to stop doing is faking like we don't want relationships with other women. That's the dumbest, I don't even want to say dumbest, y'all, but I'm going to say dumbest. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. You do want relationships with somebody outside of your spouse, outside of yourself. You need these connections. You need these relationships. And let me be clear. I'm not saying you need to have a friend just for the fuck of it. Hell no. We're not having friends just to say we got friends. No. We're having friends because we want them. We enjoy them. It's a mutual thing. We both benefit from the connection and relationship that we have with one another. We bring value to each other's life. We help each other grow. Yes, this is why we are friends. It ain't because of some dumb shit and I just want you to be friend because I know you got a lot of drama and I just want to keep you around just to save you and da-da-da. We ain't doing that. That's toxic as fuck. When you're in relationships with anybody, I want it to be supportive of who you're becoming, not who you've always been. It needs to be supportive of who you're becoming and not who you've always been. So if they're okay with you being who you've always been, then it's time to let that shit go. Because you ain't got time for that. You ain't got time for that, especially I'm talking to us mothers. We ain't got time for that. We got kids to raise. No, we have to grow because our growth is dependent on our children's growth. And so it's important for us to be connected into circles and communities where we feel like we are supported, seen, heard, validated, and it's mutually supportive of everybody. If it ain't, bye. And that's that on that. That is that on that. Whew. I could keep going on, but I try to keep my videos a little short because I know that I got shit that I got to do. My kids is going to wake up soon and I don't have that much free time in the morning. Okay. So I keep them short for that reason, but I also keep them short because I know y'all just like me. We mothers. This is mom life. We need them quick little snippets where we can just get in and get it out and boom, we done, right? So I'm thinking about y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Mother May I podcast. Me, my roll, Diavia and Porsche, and my coffee. We about to say peace out. Enjoy y'all day. And I'll see y'all next week for another episode of the Mother May I podcast.